What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another MLB Prize Picks video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway I do every single week on this channel. Announce the $50 giveaway in the NBA Prize Picks video. Go check that out if you haven't already. Thank you guys for joining me as always, man. We had a fantastic week last week. Excited to just keep it going, man. Excited to watch Props Made Easy just continue to just excel in this industry. And shout out to everybody who's a part of it. We cleared over 1,000 members at Props Made Easy a couple days ago, actually. I just forgot to shout it out. So shout out to all of you. It's been great, man. Shout out to everybody active in the player prop chat, going over ideas with everybody, just being super supportive to everyone. And that's what it's all about, man. Just good vibes, good energy, and just continuing to just, utilize these tools that have the most data you could possibly ask for into these bets out of any tool in the industry and just have success, man, and just have a good time doing this. Just obviously stay responsible as always, and, let's keep it going. So, baseball picks for today. Let's get it. So, first and foremost, at the top of the list, you got a couple pitchers up here that are really feeling good and that are really popping as of right now. Um, I really, really, really like Blake Snell at home tonight against Cincinnati. Now, Blake Snell is a super solid pitcher. Yes, this season he hasn't been the greatest. You know what I mean? And you really, if you look at the recent performance and all that, I mean, he's kind of been mediocre. 17, then he got blown up by Atlanta, and then 8, and then 13 and 11. One thing to consider is he's faced a lot of solid offenses this year. He's faced Atlanta twice, one of the best offenses in the league. He faced the Mets, um, and then he faced Chicago in Chicago. And then Colorado, which there's no excuse for only getting 17 against Colorado. I mean, on DraftKings at least. Let me see what his FanDuel points were for that game. Um, he got 31 against them, so almost hit anyways. But this is it. I think this is a good start to the day. I feel good about Blake Snell. We know his talent level. We know his K percent. He's got some good stuff, man. And he's at home in San Diego, a pitcher-friendly ballpark. I think San Diego puts a whooping on Cincinnati tonight. I just really like this spot for Blake Snell, man. It's you can go Blake Snell's pitcher fantasy score, or you could go his pitching outs over. I'm not too worried about Vegas like in the under 15.5 because I really like the over here. I don't see how Cincinnati beats him to the point where he goes under 15 and a half. I feel like over 15 and a half is a pretty safe bet, which is why we like the 1.2. I know a lot of people might shy away because of that under, the money on the under, but Blake Snell's a fantastic play today, just off the numbers. Like, you don't want to just look at this season either. It's such a small sample size. He's only got 5 starts this season, 2 against Atlanta, 1 against the Mets. So some tough spots, you know what I mean? But this spot's much better against Cincinnati here at home in San Diego, pitcher-friendly ballpark. I'm going to rock with Blake Snell over 32 and a half. I think San Diego gets it done in a big way tonight against Cincinnati. Who was that pitching? I think like Luke Weaver is pitching for Cincinnati or something like that. So yeah, he's going to get absolutely destroyed. He's done okay in his first couple starts of the year, but this is a fantastic matchup, fantastic spot for San Diego to really put a whooping on him in San Diego. So I'm liking San Diego's offense a lot. I'm liking Blake Snell a lot. So let's go over 32 and a half for Blake Snell. I think this game might possibly be his coming out party. So really like to start with that over pitcher fantasy score 32 and a half. Next, I was looking at all the bats, right? And of course, hitter fantasy scores popping as always will be. Now, Pete Alonso is popping pretty hard because he's only at 5.5, and we know the potential Alonso has to be able to hit that. I mean, one double and he's almost hit it already. You know what I mean? And going against Spencer Strider, the problem is when people put the bat on the ball, they hit it hard because Strider's throwing the ball 250 miles an hour. So the problem is when people do put the bat on the ball, if they figure him out a little bit, because he's only got what, a couple pitches, something like that in his arsenal, because he throws the ball so fast, he's able to get away with it. And he is a fantastic pitcher, don't get me wrong, which is why his prop line is this low. But the data and the player prop tool are willing to take a risk on going over on Pete Alonso because his prop line's so low at 5.5, and Strider's been known to, You give up some power at times, and Pete Alonso's a guy that can definitely hit with some power. So he's interesting. I'm not going to go with him just because I love Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider's an amazing pitcher, and I just don't want to go that route right now. But 5.5 is great value, so don't shy too far away from it. Sprinkle some in if you want to. Tatis, obviously, fantastic spot. Great matchup for him, but I've been playing a lot of Tatis, so I'm going to kind of fade Tatis just because I always go Tatis, but he's a great option as well, popping hard. Francisco Lindor, once again, just a very, 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 one of the better bats in the entire league. Alonso and Lindor, two fantastic Met bats, too low of a prop line because they're facing Strider, all right? Jonathan India, righty-lefty matchup against Snell, but somebody who's popping to me is going to be Masataka Yoshida at 7 or Freddie Freeman at 7.5. I'm battling between these two guys, but I'm going to lean Yoshida because he's the higher differential guy. Yoshida sticks out to me because this dude is just absolutely solid. Like, this dude right here finds a way to put the bat on the ball. He's just a fantastic bat, very, very consistent. And in a sport like baseball where things are so, like, up and down, you never really know what to expect. Like, the best bats in the league can go out and get nothing. Yoshida's a guy who has been incredibly consistent this year, especially since April 20th. The dude's been just on fire. He's gotten over 7 in pretty much every game but 2 out of the last, 10. So he's just a fantastic option to me here. And he's got the great matchup against Berrios as well, with the wind blowing out in Boston. A lot of times when I make my decisions, one thing that I do love to kind of roll with is not obviously number one thing I look at is props made easy differential, because I know how much data is going into these, and there's no way possible I have the time to go through every little bit of data like this does. So that's the best part about, computers. But one thing I do like to go is I like to go with the better differentials, and then I also like to match up where they're playing at too, because guys historically play better at home. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. They just play better when they're at home. If you look at all the stats over forever, majority of the time guys are better at home. Yoshida at home in Boston, prop line only at 7. Lefty-righty matchup against Berrios, who we know at times can get just demolished. Winds blowing out, to be exact, out to left at 10 miles an hour. It's just a good spot, man. Not only does the data like him at almost 9, which is a 1.98 differential, but Yoshida is at home in Boston, lefty-righty matchup against Berrios. Great spot for him. He's been fantastic lately as well. So I'm going to rock over on Yoshida 7 hitter score. All right? So Blake Snell, over 32.5 pitcher fantasy score at home in San Diego. Pitcher-friendly ballpark. I think this is Snell's coming out party, man. And if it's not, then, hey, we got to start, honestly looking at the possibility of Snell maybe not being that guy. You know what I mean? But I think he is. I think this dude is a solid pitcher overall. I'm not too worried about his struggles a little bit so far this year. We know what he's capable of. We know what he's got. He's facing a Cincinnati offense that just doesn't have a ton of firepower in it. And this is just a great spot for him to pitch fairly deep as well, and just be able to have a very consistent outing, not give up too much crazy damage, get those Ks, and get that win as well. So over 32.5 pitcher fantasy score for Snell, and then Yoshida is who I'm rocking with for bats at home in Boston, lefty-righty matchup, over the 7 fantasy score there. All right? Thank you guys for joining me as always. Real quick, I'll go through the regular stuff. We've got Patrick Wisdom at the top here. He's got the righty-lefty matchup against Smiley for total bases. That's popping. You've got Drew Smiley popping, which I do agree with. Smiley's been fantastic this year. Tony Gonsolin over pitching outs. You've got Blake Snell as one of the better pitching outs that we're liking so far today, which makes a ton of sense. I expect him to pitch deep. I don't see how it goes otherwise, but that's it, y'all. Thank you guys for joining me as always, man. Let's sweep baseball and basketball. Let's get it. If you're interested in DFS content, you can go to more right here and you'll see DFS content. You can click on that. It'll take you over to my site, greenlightdfs.com. And you'll be able to get exposure over there to the optimal lineups, optimizer, all that good stuff for daily fantasy sports optimal lineups. Now, obviously, if you're into props, propsmadeeasy.com is the way to go. Let's get this money, y'all. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and I'm out. Peace.